Howdy do, everybody. Welcome back. Caveman's coming back to tell you some more stories, and boy, have I had a few stories to tell you lately. That seems to be what I'm doing on the coffee break this past couple of weeks, is remembering stories and experiences that I've had that I find amusing or interesting or funny. So I hope you don't mind me sharing the stories. And today is going to be like the rest. I am going to share a story with you about something that I experienced or I participated in, that I was involved with back in the 80s. Okay? There was this time when I got a job, and I did this for 3 years, three consecutive years. I went on like a 3.5, 4-month tour to promote cartoons for the American Broadcasting Company. And we toured all over the United States in major cities going to malls. So I kept telling everyone when I was on these mall tours that I was getting mauled to death. And going and spending so much time in the mall is kind of dangerous, because if that's all you're doing all day is sitting in a mall, even though you might be working and doing your performances on the scheduled time periods, in between, you got too much time on your hand and you end up walking around the mall and, you guessed it, shopping. Anyways, that's what I was doing when I got this bright idea in my head at some point, because I was traveling with like 12 other people in a van. And we would be very close to one another whether we liked it or not. And I learned a lot about different people and vice versa. And one thing that I kind of got into my head was that I was going to pull a funny prank and play Stunt Man. I told one of the people in the show, it was a little person because we did have different size cartoon characters that we played. We'd get inside these big furry suits like you see at Disneyland or what have you, and we would perform. But we needed different heights of people, and sometimes that meant getting some little people involved. And one of them, I remember, was a rambunctious little person and very lively and vivacious, I guess is the word I would want to use. And we had this, I don't know, funny relationship going on where we'd tell jokes to each other. And at one point I just said, you know what? To this person, I said, I want to be a stunt man when I grow up. And she said, oh, I think that's a great idea. So you need your practice. So you need to play stunt man every once in a while and get your pratfalls in and what have you. Well, we continued this joke for one season. And we were out on the road together in that van for like 15 to 18 weeks, as I recall. And out of the clear blue, I would say, it's time to play Stunt Man! And I would do something. And so a couple of incidents I remember. One of them was in San Francisco, down by Lombard Street. I remember specifically wearing purple parachute pants and a very string tank top. And I had, at that point in time, a perm in my hair, and it was kind of long. I was quite the character to look at, even back then. You think I'm a caveman now. Back then, I was a real hippie. Anyways, we were in San Francisco, and I was with the group, and we were walking around San Francisco on our time off, and we went down to Lombard Street, and that's the zigzaggy street that goes all the way down one particular hill that's so famous. But they also have walking areas, sidewalk areas on the side. And so I remember telling them that it was time to play Stunt Man, and then I would just get on the ground and I rolled my body down the sidewalk, down that big hill on Lombard Street. Okay, it must have looked funny to the other people around there, but it wasn't no big deal. It was just a funny thing to do, right? And we all had a big laugh, took pictures and what have you. So that was one of my stuntman moments. The next one I remember is being in St. Louis under the St. Louis Arch. And we were going up into the arch and doing our sightseeing moment on our day off. And I remember even taking a helicopter ride around the arch, which was pretty frightening. I'm not a helicopter person. And anyways, we were underneath the arch walking up to it, and I yelled out, "It's time to play Stunt Man!" I went rolling, barreling, like somersault head forward and like really doing it up down the grassy knoll underneath the St. Louis Arch. I didn't hurt myself or anything like that. It was just all fun and games, right? So, no big deal, And, but we continued this charade of practicing to be stuntman and all sorts of things that are related to that all throughout the tour until I got to the point where we ended up in Pennsylvania. King of Prussia Mall, I think is what it was. We were staying there at some lodge called the George Washington Lodge, as I recall, in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania. And I think this was the last time I ever said, "It's time to play Stuntman," because this time it was a little different. We were in our van, as we normally are when we check into a hotel, and the door, the van door, the side door, was like halfway open. And our roadshow manager was inside checking us all in and getting prepared for us to spend our week at the King of Prussia Mall, at the hotel there, so we could perform at the King of Prussia Mall. Doing the cartoon characters. We were definitely characters. Anyway, all of a sudden, when he came back, he got in the van and he started it up and he started rolling through the parking lot. We weren't going very fast, maybe, 5 miles per hour. I mean, how fast can you go in a parking lot of a hotel, right? So and the van door was still open, and every one of us were just sitting in there waiting. So when he got back and he started driving, we didn't shut the door because we were going to get out in just a minute or two. He was just going to move the van forward and park it. But before he did, he started rolling that van, and I turned and I looked at my friend, the little person, and I said, "It's time to play Stuntman!" And I dove right out the van door. And I went tumbling on the asphalt pavement. And then rolled and rolled on that pavement. And then I jumped up and said, "Ta-da!" But that hurt. I was scraped up on my elbows and everything. I mean, this was not the grassy knoll under the St. Louis Arch. This was asphalt parking lot. And I was out rolling in it, jumping from a moving vehicle. And later on, and I jumped up and said "ta-da" like I did because I was scared that everybody else was going to be scared to death because everyone gasped and went, like something was really wrong. And something could have went really wrong in that moment. But I was very lucky that I didn't do anything more but get scrapes and bruises. But I was hurting after that, I guarantee you. And that ended my stuntman career on tour with the cartoon character show. And looking back on it, I just laugh and laugh about it. But in that moment, that was really frightening, that one moment. We had a lot of fun doing it all the other times, but I guess I was pretty safe in doing it, and it was just all for fun and games. But that time, I did get hurt a little bit. So it wasn't so funny, and everyone got scared, and then they thought, okay, no more playing Stuntman. Okay, this is getting out of hand if it goes this far. So I got it. And we all stopped playing Stuntman at that point in time. But that's my Stuntman story for the day. Hope you liked it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to leave some comments in the comment boxes below if you have a similar story to share or anything you want to share or say. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you can get some more stories just like this one. Because I've got a few. Because I'm just a crazy little coot. I'm not that crazy. But that was one of my really fun stories about being on the road, and I'll try to share some more just like that in upcoming videos. So don't forget to hit that notification bell, and don't forget to share it with all your friends if you're so inclined. And I'll see you next time right here on the coffee break, okay? You have a good day. Bye for now.